Alright, people. So I went through another day of watching about, again, two, 2 hours, about maybe, I don't know, somewhere around 2 hours of live stream action from Ferguson on the InfoWars live stream. They had Joe Biggs and Jakari Jackson there. So I was watching that tonight, and man, they got some real courage going down there. Any journalist really covering it has some real courage. And when these two people are doing Biggs and Jackson, they're staying there for the whole time. They're putting their lives on the line, pretty much. I mean, anytime you drive a car, you put your life on the line, but I mean, they're right there on ground zero, right in the middle of the action. Really, they could very easily get injured, and they are courageously reporting and getting the news across. Now, the police, I will say this: they don't seem to be attacking innocent people this time. Um, they're leaving the reporters alone for the most part. It seems they're leaving they're not really leaving the innocent people alone because they're throwing tear gas, but they're not directly, like pointing snipers. It doesn't seem like, or it seems like they really toned down the targeting of innocent people and reporters, which is good. But they are not going towards the violent people. You see, I don't get this. There's violent people and shit who are lighting stuff on fire. Oh, and this too. There was an empty police car left, just on the street. Like, either some cop is a real dumbass. That's got to be the biggest moron in the world to leave your cop car sitting in the middle of the road, unattended. He's got to be the biggest dumbass in the world, or else they did it on purpose to provoke more violence. I don't know what happened, but you gotta be a real dumbass to leave your cop car unattended in the middle of the road. So, of course, the protesters get into it. They flip it over. Just again, like, why would you even fucking do that? What a fucking motherfucking retard. Or they did it on purpose. I don't know, but just wanted to bring that up too. But then again, you know, they got all these bad things happening, looting, setting fires to shit. Um, and so why aren't the cops going after those? There's tons of people there. National Guard, cops, MRAPs. Why aren't they targeting those violent people? Go after the violent people and arrest their asses. Make a, show a message that you're not going to be able to get away with looting. Alright? Send in the National Guard, whatever. Send in the, troops. Do what you gotta do to arrest the violent people, but leave the innocent people alone. Don't throw tear gas, which gets in people and can really fuck you up. I don't think it could kill you, but it's not necessary throwing tear gas because that's going to affect innocent people and reporters, which we shouldn't do. Alright? And again, they're just not targeting, they're not seeming to be going after the violent people, which is really frustrating me. Because you see, of course, the riot. That's all I hear about. Oh, the rioters are bad. Well, of course they are. It seems to be the main talking point, and the mainstream media won't go into the police state. I really think this is being used to demonize protesters because, if I come out, in my in a future video, and there's a legitimate act of police brutality, and I say, yeah, I thought this was wrong, then the average person might think I'm stupid because of this situation. So this could be used to demonize the First Amendment and legitimate acts of police brutality of people protesting that. So I mean, they could use this for a lot of things. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that they're not trying to stop violence and they're provoking it. I mean, come on, who releases the verdict? They hype it up. They're like, they are like, oh, at 4 or 5 o'clock, they're like, yeah, we're gonna release the verdict later today. Now, why would you fucking do that? Again, you either have to be the biggest dumbass in the world to do that, or you did it on purpose to incite violence. And then they're like, and then of course it gives people time to gather and plan their violent acts of just stupidity, pretty much. And then they, all shit breaks loose, of course, because they announced it right at nighttime when most protests take place. Just a fucking terrible idea. You know, and I think we could pretty much say they're not stopping the violence. They're letting it happen to show that, again, this could just be to condition Americans to accept a police state. All right, because I see people that are more worried about the the violent protesters, which is it's a pretty big deal. The violent protesters are total fucking morons. But I think the bigger issue is the subliminal message behind this, the hidden message behind this. It's like an allegory with the story of an allegory where there's a hidden message. Not that they're not that the message is on purpose to what the message is. I think it's got to do with the police state. That's the bigger message here. The bigger issue here is the police state. They're conditioning us to accept a police state. All right, people, and whether they're justified or not. I mean, my view on it is you gotta do what you gotta do to go after violent protesters. If you have to, carry some more weapons than you normally would, then all right for one time. Because there's clearly a lot of violent protesters, so I could understand a surplus of police or the National Guard. I mean, it's kind of necessary, but then they should use the National Guard to actually go after those people. All right, that's what why isn't the mainstream media reporting? I mean, I've been watching hours of this on live stream from people who are there, and the cops are going after the rioters. It seems like, and then you'll probably get your mainstream media people like Bill O'Reilly. Oh, do I hate just looking at Bill O'Reilly makes me want to punch him in the face. And I shouldn't say that, but seriously, he's just so fucking annoying, so goddamn annoying. Cuts off his viewers at every chance he gets. Just looks evil. Your typical neoconservative. I hate Bill O'Reilly so fucking much. He's probably saying right now, I could picture him on his Fox News channel thinking he's the greatest, with his fucking teleprompter. He even admits he has a teleprompter. He shows he's got like notes on the side. He's like, I can just see him now. Yeah, the rioters in Ferguson are bad, but, I could just picture him, fuck, I don't watch O'Reilly because I cannot, some people like Hannity I could stand more than O'Reilly, I think, but like O'Reilly's just so fucking annoying, like some mainstream media people I could stand more, but almost all mainstream media people are fucking just idiots and bad. And then when you get one good mainstream media person like Judge Andrew Napolitano, they gotta take him off the air. Oh yeah, because it's so bad to promote the Constitution. Yeah. Or when Jesse Ventura got his mainstream media role at MSNBC, they took him off the air for 3 years and pretty much bought his silence. They paid him, but they didn't let him on the air. So there you go, people. Whenever you get somebody that actually wants to tell the truth and actually promotes the Constitution on mainstream media, oh no, we can't have those people in mainstream media. Instead, you get Bill fucking O'Reilly, who's just annoying as fuck. Probably like, yeah, I want a police state because most neoconservatives, I think, want a police state. Like the police state, love having all these useless wars for the military-industrial complex. And then you'll get O'Reilly saying, well, if we win the Iraq War, do you think it's a victory for us? And my answer to that would be no. Because do you consider thousands of Americans dying over a war for the military-industrial complex a victory, O'Reilly? So, I mean, the whole situation is just so frustrating. I think they're trying to incite violence to send a message across, to demonize the First Amendment, to demonize legitimate protest against police brutality, which is a big issue nowadays. And, was Darren Wilson justified? I think he was, because it was pretty clear Michael Brown had fatal intentions towards, I think it's pretty clear, I guess you can argue, maybe he didn't have to kill them, but I still think he should not have been indicted, with the evidence I saw. But then again, the media will all, and the race baiters will all focus on this issue when there's actually legitimate acts of police brutality. So again, this could be used and this probably is being used to demonize legitimate protest against legitimate police brutality. And again, it's being used to further the police state, take away our rights. Because just because there's a few violent people, oh, I also saw, when I was watching the live stream, they say you were unlawfully assembling. What? What the fuck does, I read off the fucking, I got it in my fucking backpack, but the Constitution book, it clearly says in the First Amendment you have a right to assemble. It's like saying, oh, you legally murdered somebody. No, 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 no. We have a right to assemble. They're like, oh, you're illegally assembling. No, no, no. You have a right to assemble. If there's a few bad protesters, if there's some rioters in the group, then the police should go and take care of the rioters. That does not mean everybody loses their rights because there's criminals. There's going to be criminals, and the police should take care of those criminals accordingly. They obviously have all the resources to do that. Look at what they have. And if somebody tries to attack them, use whatever force like those jackasses that were shooting the fire trucks. Take their asses out, blow their brains out. I want to see them dead if they're gonna fucking, I don't advocate people dying, but seriously, take them out if they're shooting at fucking. They could legitimately kill somebody. Take them out. Where are the police on this? They're shooting at the firemen, and they're not doing jack shit about it. I mean, if somebody's shooting a gun with tons of people around, just for the hell of it, take them. I guess if they're shooting up in the air, then, I would give them a warning. But seriously, if you're shooting a gun at firemen, you could have your brains blown out. I mean, seriously, even if you're shooting up in the air, the bullets are going to fall down, and there's a lot of people there. So, again, it's just fucking ridiculous. The police aren't doing jack shit, and they're like, oh, if they kill somebody, it's just going to incite more violence. I disagree. Because I think if they kill somebody, and if it's legitimate, if somebody's shooting at the fucking firemen, and they kill somebody, I think that's going to send a message that you cannot do these violent acts and get away with them. Arrest people. Show that you're going to take care of the issue, and show you're going to land your ass in jail if you riot. Alright? So there you go, people. There's my thoughts. They should stop worrying about people in the street. They should fucking, I think, shut down the roads, because and just let people, and just forget about people in the street, because somebody's going to die. Get hit by a car. Because, I think they should shut down the roads, because it's obviously a hazard. Just like construction's a hazard. They have to shut down the roads for construction. Shut down the roads. And don't worry about people going in the street. Because they're like, oh, you can't go in the street when there's violent protests, violent rioters on the loose. Why don't you go worry about those people, alright? Because there are peaceful protesters out there. I see them. There are peaceful people. And they should leave the peaceful people alone and go get the hooligans, the retards, the morons. Go get those people, alright, cops? Alright, so one good thing that came out of this, day 2 was nowhere near, I don't think, as bad as day 1 with the violence and the destruction. I don't think there was any lives lost. I heard there was 1 life lost yesterday. A few injury cops got injured. And hey, if you're gonna be a cop, that's gonna happen. Cops get injured. Cops die. It's unfortunate, but they knew that when they signed up for that job. It's a risk. Alright? And so day 2 is, it's seems to be de-escalating, hopefully. Hopefully, maybe Thanksgiving will help it simmer down, and I hope this doesn't last too long. And I hope we can end these retarded protests and focus our energy on actually more legitimate issues. So I see it. The end is in sight, I guess you could say. Hopefully these protests, these moronic protests, I mean, there are some peaceful protesters out there, those aren't moronic, but hopefully these moronic rioting protests will end, because I don't want to see businesses destroyed. I don't want to see people killed or injured. I don't want to see shit burned for no fucking reason. So day 2 of Ferguson is complete. It's looking better, so hopefully it will get better. So there you go, people.